There's a gathering storm on the horizon. We Floridians are used to storm season. We accept for 6 months every year that we have to pay close attention to the weather and to the tropics to predict hurricane activity. It's part of living in Florida that's unpredictable and unavoidable. But the storm we're here to talk about today is not a force of nature. It's a product of stubbornness and pure election year politics. We've seen it coming for a year, and it's totally preventable. Yes, we understand that economic conditions have caused the state to lose anticipated revenues. We also understand that Floridians are hurting, not only because of a bad economy, but also because of an unfair tax system that pits Floridian against Floridian. Some pay too little in taxes. Some pay far too much in taxes. It's just right for nobody. Though it doesn't appear that the unfair tax system will be fixed anytime soon, we can help alleviate the negative impacts of economic emergency. Florida has a system of reserves that we can use for times like this. This comes in handy during a hurricane that hits our coast. It can also be used to help insulate us from the nasty economic conditions that blow in from time to time. In fact, one of these funds is even called the Rainy Day Fund. But some leaders here at the Capitol are reluctant to use the funds at the state's disposal during stormy conditions. Governor Christ has suggested we use some of the money available to help ease the difficulties we have in this budget year. And it also will allow us to buy some time so that lawmakers can find permanent solutions so that we can avoid the tax problem during the next economic turndown. You can dip into these funds when you have an emergency because you have saved for it. You have saved for the rainy day. Well, folks, it's a full gully washer in many parts of our state. In fact, using these reserve funds can help the state recover in difficult economic times. That's the conclusion of the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, which issued a report in February called, "Is It Raining Yet?" The report says that the deep budget cuts that the legislature is pursuing during this session is exactly the wrong approach to solve our economic problems. The center says that tapping into these reserves would help bolster the economy, preserve the state's bond ratings, and give Florida time to respond sensibly to the challenge that we face. Instead, what is happening? We're looking at public schools being closed in some places. Education professionals will lose their jobs in many places, inside the classroom and throughout the school. Programs like art and music will be cut. Summer school and after-school programs will be curtailed. Bus routes will be shortened, endangering children. Classrooms will be cleaned less often, and school repairs will be put on hold. It's raining cats and dogs in other areas as well. Social services, health care, services for the elderly, for children, and for Florida's most vulnerable citizens. In the best economic times, Florida underfunds its public schools. When storm clouds gather, it becomes a crisis. We're here today to tell you and to tell our elected leaders in the Capitol that we are in the midst of severe downpours. And these umbrellas aren't enough to keep our schools and the children we serve safe from the storm. We ask everyone who is concerned about these damaging budget cuts to contact their legislators, like Speaker Rubio and Representative Sansom in the House, and President Pruitt and Senator Carlton in the Senate, and ask them to reconsider their decision not to use the state's reserves before this dangerous storm deepens any further. If this isn't a time to dip into your reserve funds, when is it? Florida needs real leadership from the politicians in this Capitol. It's time they stepped up to the plate and they funded public education at the level they need to. This is not going to help the economy by underfunding public schools. Thank you.